As if they need another warning, but here is one to local Liberals in Australia who think they can take Conservative support for granted and largely ignore the challenge from One Nation, as some have briefed out recently to journalists in recent days. Overnight in London, former Conservative Cabinet Minister Suella Braverman, and I was a huge fan of hers in the Tory party as minister, became the latest Tory to join the exodus to the insurgent Reform Party in Britain, claiming that the party she's belonged to for 3 decades has fallen, quote, to the wets and to people who don't believe in Britain and who don't have Conservative values.
The truth is that in recent years, I have found myself effectively in a social democrat, left-leaning party made up of Conservatives in name only. No wonder I have felt politically homeless for years.
And what she's lost isn't her career within the Conservative Party. What she's lost is her battle to get the Conservative Party in the place that she thought it ought to be.
With 2 former senior ministers and former leadership contenders now sitting with Reform in the House of Commons, it's starting to look less like a party of protest and more like a party of potential government. And in addition to Braverman, just look at the list of those who've already jumped ship. A former Chancellor, a former Community Secretary, that's their term for Cabinet-level MP, a former Secretary for Culture, a former Political Secretary, a former Attorney General, of course, in Braverman. And in terms of those in the outer ministry, there's a former political minister, he's walked, a former minister in charge of the north of England, a minister for Scotland, a health minister, an assistant whip, and a former parliamentary secretary. Now, unlike here, Reform has been polling some 50% more than both the Conservatives and Labor for at least a year. And on current polling, Reform would certainly be the largest party in the British Parliament after an election. While here, One Nation has outperformed the coalition in just one news poll last week. So we're not comparing apples and apples yet. But as long as the coalition continues to self-immolate, that's unlikely to be the last poll that One Nation outperforms the other established groupings on the centre-right. There's a strong message here for the Liberal Party, especially the 2 men vying for Sussan Ley's job. It's all very well to change the leader, but unless the party stands for something, it could well be that it's the party's time that's up, not just Ley's.